Jurgen, how did these 3 points get away from you today in the end?
Oh, well, it was our own fault. So I don't think that anybody can expect that a team plays like West Brom tonight in the first half, like 6-4 or whatever it was. So I think we did okay. To be honest, we scored a goal, didn't give anything away, especially no set pieces. And second half, obviously, we didn't do exactly the same again. They had already in the first 5 minutes of the second half, they had like 3 counterattacks. We gave them easy, simple corners. I don't think too many free kicks, but corners, too many. And that was actually the only thing they wanted to have tonight, and we gave it away. So that's our fault, and that's why it's only 1 point instead of 3.
Andy Robertson says that you were slack as a team in the second half. Why do you feel that was?
Oh, it's an incredible challenge to stay active, to stay lively when you constantly face 10 men. But to be fair, West Brom did that. They did the job exactly 90 minutes. Exactly, we were 1-0 up, and they didn't change a little bit. And so, how is that? The West Brom deserved the point tonight because we didn't finish the game. We didn't have enough clear-cut chances. It is difficult to create. Well, it's a busy period, all that stuff, a lot of games we played, that's all an explanation. But in the end, I think everybody knows and feels like we should have and could have done better tonight, and then we would have won the game, so it's a draw.
We spoke before the game, didn't we, about it being a particular kind of challenge. When you look back over the 90 minutes at whole, particularly the first half, is that where you should have really taken the game, do you feel?
Yeah, but look, at first half, you prepare a team, and we have had actually what could be really used. Aston Villa, Sam was, I think, 3 or 4 days in charge before that game, so you use it, but he then has a week to prepare the game. So, and it was obviously they played different against Villa. Today, what was clear is they will be defensive and go for set pieces, and When it clicks in a game, and you cannot plan clicking, you just have to work for it. When it clicks in a game, then you pass 2-3 balls. We had in the first half. When it clicks in a game, and you cannot plan like this, that's all. That's how you should have to do it. But second half, we didn't have it anymore that much, and we just played around. When we crossed the ball, when we were standing, instead of moving, we didn't switch and accelerate. There were a lot of things we didn't do anymore. So how I said, it's not a game we will talk about in 20 years, but it's a game we had to play, and we didn't play it as good as we could.
You lost Joel Matip as well, didn't you, in the second half? How is he?
Don't know yet. He felt his adductor, and don't know more.
Okay. Jurgen, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We can understand his frustration. He was very honest in his assessment.
I think it was easy to see today's game, wasn't it?
He was very honest in his assessment.
I think it was easy to see today's game, wasn't it? The failings in the second half were completely different from the first half. The first half, I think Andy Robertson crossed the ball in from wide areas 3 or 4 times, flashing it across the penalty area. Trent Alexander-Arnold, that side of the pitch, flashing him across the danger area. Second half, they were from 20, 30 yards deeper, which is easier to defend. Liverpool were a different side in the second half, when really they should have kept on and just control this game. They could have had the control, and they could have been much better. They didn't necessarily have to be more clinical. They just fell into a trap of conceding errors and switching off, thinking, it's just too easy, this.
Can that happen against a team who adopt that approach? Like Jurgen Klopp said, it's not easy to stay active against a team that sit back.
I think there was a lacking of movement off the ball second half, and it was ironic. They did play with a 6 and a 4 first half, but they actually had a little bit more energy and shifted the ball quicker first half, and consequently got in behind a couple of times. Suddenly, Grant goes up front for West Brom, and they do play a little bit more open, and they found it harder to get in, which was strange. They weren't quite at it today. And as I said earlier, I think they've got to look for movement on the outsides, and it not coming from your fullbacks. I think there's times when you have a wide man and then the fullback goes and makes movement off that. And I think you'll find you'll get in behind. And I think it might be something that Jurgen will look at that tape, because there'll be other teams that are going to do that.
I was just about to say that. This isn't going to be a one-off.
No, there's other teams that's going to do it. And I think they're going to look at it and say, well, sometimes we have to play slightly different. It's not massively different. It's just a couple of good movements in the last third when you know you're going to have the ball and you're going to go back time and time again. Like first half, it was it was like a practice match. What we say, forwards against defence. You know, Steve, you'd have done it many times on the training pitch. Managers do it to see if you can defend and get overnumbered and defend that way. And it was just like a training session. It really was. West Brom had nowhere to go when they actually got the ball in that defensive third. And they had a really good goalkeeper behind them. So they fancied their chances playing like that.
Talking of defending, you heard him ask there about Joel Matip. It didn't look good.
Nope.
And that is another frustration of the day, with no Van Dijk, no Gomez.
No Gomez,
and now maybe a period with no Matip as well.
Well, it is going to be a period with no Matip. Judging by his reaction here, you know, this is not something that's just been slow to come on. This is just happens instantly, isn't it? And normally that's a while. Even in the best case scenario, if he pulled his adductor or anything like that, you know, it's a good month off, isn't it? So, I mean, and the fact that he's quite brittle himself, he's missed lots of games, hasn't he, through injuries?
You would know. Was it his back before? Was it his back the problem?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's had problems everywhere, to be honest.
That wouldn't surprise me if that's not connected to you. Most of your problems with your back, you end up with a groin or you end up with a hamstring.
It was Kevin Friendly bore the brunt of Jurgen's frustration, which ended with a yellow card, Macca.
Yeah, well, you can see the frustration and why. I mean, it was a nothing challenge, but in his interview before the game, he does mention, Jurgen, how it'll be stop-start the game, how they will try and slow the game down, and this is exactly what they were doing. So this wasn't a surprise. The surprise is his reaction, really. I mean, whether it was a foul or not is immaterial, is it? You just get on with it.
I mean, I think that's the frustration of his team playing the way they were second half. And he knows, deep down, he doesn't like the way West Brom was set up and the way they were playing, because it was hurting football, if you like.
Yeah.
But I think he took it out on the referee. All his frustrations just vented. I've been down there. I know it does happen. And he, rightly so, he got booked.
I can't imagine you, Glenn Hardle, getting frustrated. Jurgen Klopp was. Sam Allardyce won't be. Here's his thoughts.
Your game plan worked out rather well in the end.
Yes, I thought the lads are superb today. I think that there's a lot of defending you have to do against such a quality team, and such a team with such a fantastic home record, of course. And I think to the man, we certainly frustrated Liverpool as much as we possibly could. We had to try and take the sting out of them in the first half, so it was really backs to the wall. The last 20 minutes we changed it a little bit by putting Granty up front to give us a little bit of an out ball. We felt that was going to work better in the second half, and certainly second half performance, not only defensively but also in possession, got us more and more up the pitch. And I think that not only the goal from Shemi, the Grant one-on-one with the goalie, you know, would have put us back level. So we had two really good opportunities to score, a lot of good final third entries in the second half, which we didn't get in the first half, and came off with a very precious point for us.
I mean, there must have been a sense of relief that you were still in the game at half-time, because they scored early, which is obviously the last thing that you would have wanted. I mean, at times, it was hard to stay in the game, wasn't it? I mean, they really took the game to you in that opening 45.
Well, Liverpool always take the game to you. I mean, what I'd say is, if you look at the shots on target count, I wouldn't think Liverpool's was that high. So I didn't see Sam in goal under enormous pressure, making world-class saves today. So that shows us how well we contained the pressure up and into the 18-yard box. And of course, when they're firing balls into the box towards the end, that's even sometimes more difficult to defend against. But we did that very well, and I think that you know, everybody will start going on about, probably saying about how lucky we are again, but that wasn't just luck. That was good application by the players and taking an opportunity that came their way at the other end, and I'm really pleased for the boys. Great header for the goal, by the way.
Yeah, and at the other end, your goalkeeper, as you say, wasn't constantly peppered by the Liverpool attack, but he did have to make one world-class save at the end there, didn't he? At that point, right at the end there. Well, it was a fantastic save, though, wasn't it?
Unbelievable save, isn't it? But only having to make one world-class save here on the top of the league, and we're at the bottom. Come on. I mean, we've done a brilliant job, and the goal is there to make that one save if we need him. If we'd have asked him to make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 saves, they'd have probably won 4-0. Maybe 4-1, who knows. But we did our job defending our goalkeeper, defending our box really well. When the goalie was asked to come up with a save, and he's top class, he did do, and that's obviously got us a very precious point.
Oh, we should point out, Glenn, that no one in this studio has mentioned the word luck.
No.
With West Bromwich Albion today.
Whether he feels he's going to get some criticism, but he